I think we can get started. It's good to see you again. Welcome to the seminar. It is my pleasure to host today our remote speaker, Dr. Ziheng Sun. Dr. Sun is a research associate professor at George Mason University. He's the PI of the NASA Access Project and the NSF Geoinformatics project. He has worked on scientific workflow management for many years and published over 100 papers and book chapters. He is the chair of ESIP. ESIP stands for Earth Science Information Partners, an umbrella organization, machine learning cluster, and currently an AI practitioner trying to answer challenging earth science questions with the latest technologies. Thank you, Jensen, for joining us from remote. I know it's late your time. We appreciate your contribution to our seminar. Take it away. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicolata. Thank you so much for the invitation. Hi everyone. So I can't see everybody's face. So if there is any questions, just feel free to interrupt. Nicolata. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's an honor to be here. So thank you so much for the opportunity to present Geoweaver. This is pretty new software. Well, actually, we have this idea back in 2018, and it was designed primarily for addressing the challenges I have met in my research. So right now, it has grown to such a stable and useful software that helped me a lot. It's like position me to the position I'm in right now. I'm kind of in a sweet spot. It's kind of like I don't feel like so much stress that my peers, my colleagues feel every day because of this kind of tool. So I really want to share it with everybody. So make sure just want to to make it to help more person. And to just ease your research anxiety and make your workflows better. Don't give you so much pressure that to finish your work. So yeah. Oh, this work is sponsored by NASA, NSF, and NOAA. So thank you to all our sponsors. Also, it was originally a eSIP lab project. So we have been going through a lot of steps to be here. So thank you all our sponsors. Next slide is I'm gonna introduce a little bit about myself because well, if without introduce my research, probably it will be a little bit harder to understand like why you do this, like what's the purpose of this software, what's the context of of its design. And I was originally trained as a GISer, so anybody like familiar with the ArcGIS or all those like geospatial data set? Yeah, that was kind of my undergraduate training. So but we also have some like programming classes. So I actually find that myself is very interested in the programming, like coding in the C++, the Java. Actually, Python was not the same back then. Mostly Java and C++ and C. And I'm super excited about it. And actually, we developed several GIS softwares from scratch, which is super exciting back then. So I decided to in the past 10 years, I spent most of the time engineering stuff. It's like coding, just the development software. Most of the projects is website. Like when you go to the NASA, go to the something like a Google Map, but it's not that scale. It's for the research. It's like a government website GIS services, so people can just browse all those geospatial data online. That's what I did. Just the tuning how to display all those data sets better on the website. But eventually, I found that it's more useful if I do something that really helps the climate and the earth science. It's really my interest to tackle some like challenging scientific questions. So that's why I became like a earth AI practitioner. It's quite convenient to transition from software engineer to using the latest technology like AI to solve the problem. Um, and I have been a long-time contributor to the open source software project. Um, my first step on the GitHub is pretty long, like back to like 2011 or something, 2013 I think, and my peak year is 2016. So basically every day I just commit something to the GitHub. Um, back then, but now it's also like less frequently, but still like contributing to the open source project. Um, the current interest is like we are well, I'm collaborating with Nicolata and the other colleagues to work on forecasting estimating slow water equivalent. Anybody who are not familiar with the concept is slow water equivalent means how much water is stored in that snowpack, and if all the snowpack melts, how much water you will get downstream as a drinking water source. It's very important climate indicator for the water managers to measure like how much water we still have. And another project is like ozone estimation. So we use all those model output to estimate like how the ozone actually changed over the United States. And we actually can expand, but yeah, that will cost a lot of resources. But right now we are only monitoring the United States. And also I'm working on wildfire spreading, like a propagation. Um, that this is just a brand new, it's like a 6 months project. And I added a couple of books, like one is Artificial Intelligence for Earth Science. It's best practice and fundamental challenges. Um, it's basically written because we found that there is so little example and tutorials on how to teach people exactly what to do to use AI in your research. Because most of the earth scientists they actually have the expertise of the coding and domain knowledge, but they don't have the AI knowledge and how to make it work. And to transition from the old traditional knowledge, traditional like modeling approach to AI approach, it requires a mindset change. And if there is no one tells you how to do it step by step, it'll be quite a research actually. That investigation could be taken on. So that's why we wrote this book. Another book we edited is Actionable Science for the Global Environment Change. Um, that's because we found that most of the research, well, they did a great monitoring, like forecasting, and just the tracing back the history. But if you think how actionable they are, most of the science research actually not instantly actionable. So how to collect that, science results and the society requirements is a big question. And right now, actually, NASA has this initiative called Earth Action, which is kind of the same idea, like a same goal to make the science actionable for your daily lives. Yeah, that's a couple of the books I edited, and yeah, pretty much I stayed in the academia, but actually I work on the engineering part all the time. Yeah, that's about my background. Yeah, I have been researching maybe basically my whole career, and I have a lot of anxieties. And yeah, maybe people think, okay, if you have anxiety, just go to the psychiatrist and just go to some like professionals to solve the problems. And they will give you some advice and some maybe even the medicine if the situation is bad. But I think that's actually only helping a little. If you want to really address the research anxiety, well, you probably need to look at the problem directly. It's not just just to kill the thing that is actually reporting the problem. the problem is still there. It's not doesn't go away. So we need some something to actually look at, just address the research itself to reduce the anxiety in our brains. So yeah, let's first take a look at what caused the. Actually, this is like what caused our anxiety during our research project. This is probably not an exclusive list, but I think it covers most of the cases I had. So the first thing is the information overload. So when you started the research or you started the project, the first thing that professor probably asked us to do is read all those papers in the field. That'll be like 100,000 papers, and how many papers are enough? It's like if you keep reading and the new papers are keep publishing, and when that'll end. It's like the information is too much, and how much information is like the enough information to like kick you off, like you can start to do the real research. And also there is so many risk information that actually is not useful, but it still costs you time to judge, like to decide whether it's useful or not. So information overload is definitely distracting me a lot in the past 10 years. I kind of have like a ADHD or something. I can't see any like small red circles in my phone. So once there is a new news coming, I have to click it and see what's going on there. So now it's like, that's kind of like a bad habit. But yeah, to be on the front of your domain, it's kind of required to do like to quickly absorb all those new information, all the new research results, and compare with your current one and see what's the difference. But yeah, that takes a lot of toll on our mental health. Another reason is the lack of structure. So I think many people have this. It's like just to lay out all your files in your laptop, and all those code are just distinguish using some date time, or just revise the one, revise two, like update one, update two. There is so many files and you have no idea which one is the latest anymore. Yeah, I did that a lot, and yeah, that's not working, to be honest. That's like you have like many files laying in your hard drive, and you don't know which one can be deleted, which one is useful anymore. And there are many files just sitting there for like years. We never look at it, but I still don't know whether to delete them or not. And another reason is technical challenges. Well, for me, maybe it's not a big problem because I'm quite technical, but I know that my colleague sometimes is really struggling with technical things, like programming, like Python. Well, I think the Python is probably from my perspective, it's simple, but it's not for everyone. It's like some people still think that Python is probably too hard. And times constraints, we always have deadlines. Yeah, it's one of the reasons that I know that there is better solutions, but I can't go for them because it will definitely take more time to do that from scratch, and you just have to go with your old existing but ugly way. Isolation is like, we are all working in the very small team settings, and maybe just you and the professor, or you and your supervisor, just 2 person. If you are working in a team setting, like 3 people, it's still very small. So gradually, if you have part-time job, or you have like many things going on in your life, isolation is kind of like, it's kind of make everything harder. It's like you feel like you are isolated especially when you're researching something that actually, if you count all the people researching the same problem, you can put all of them into a bus and go to camping together across the globe. It's like smaller problem will have small group of research, and you probably will feel isolated. Even that you have many colleagues across the area, but normally you still feel the isolation. And also fear of the failing is obvious. Perfectionism, actually, I don't have much of this problem because I think that I think the research is good enough to be published. Then yeah, I can reproduce it and I can publish all this code and data, and that should be good. But yeah, perfectionism sometimes, well, if there is like a big deal, like demonstration or something like live demo or the high profile meetings, yeah, that will take a lot of mental stress to prepare. Yeah, other things like funding and career uncertainty and work-life balance, academic publication pressure. So yeah, this is all real in the research life. So I believe everybody can have experience. Well, most of the people experience some of those. And yeah, this one probably is new. Well, it's relatively new. It's interdisciplinary challenges. Usually, well, in like in the old style of research, you don't have to worry about, like, if you're a biologist, you don't have to worry about machine learning or just like computer science. But now it's like you have to know something about it. Otherwise, you're gonna reinvent a lot of wheels, or you're just too slow to catch up with other part of the world. So the pressure of the interdisciplinary challenge is quite real. And also environmental concerns. My background is earth science, so we're always concerned about like what the climate change is going to cost us. Yeah, if you think more of it, you will have more concerns. That is also another very stressful thinking. And academic exams and milestones, like if you have like final exam or you have PhD thesis to prepare, that will be, yeah, a little bit stressful. So yeah, that is basically some list I can think about. You can add it here, or I actually can think of many others. Like sometimes the project's too short, and you did something and you forgot to back up, and or you lose access and all your stuff is there, but you didn't like get it out, something like that. Will create a lot of anxiety. So yeah, so actually I was trying to create a live survey here, but I didn't have the time. So yeah, just ask you what is your biggest pain in your research experiences, and think if there is any better way to solve that for you. Yeah, this is actually my most painful point. It's an information overload, lack of structure, time constraints actually. I think I misspelled this. Sorry. The isolation, the feeling of isolation is the worst. When you are working on one problem, you have no one to ask. That is very bad. And the feeling of fear of failing, funding and career uncertainties. Well, this is probably very real for people who are going to graduate. Work-life balance and environmental concerns. This is my most painful. So yeah. All right. So yeah, that's basically originally why we created this Geoweaver, because Geoweaver is such a well, it basically just shaped based on these requirements to make my work organizable and more reproducible. And I don't have to always worry about like where my work is, what's the history of this process, all my source code could like you change like dozens of times, and the problem is I can't remember them. So I vaguely remember that I did the same experience before, but I can't remember and I can't kind of find the results. So I have to do it again. I did a lot of reinventing and duplicate effort before. I believe many people actually see the students doing that every day. Even you didn't do it before, maybe somebody else did, and you are actually just replicating or repeating what the same work other people do. If there is some like a chap, some like a same problem, the previous person solved that before, but you are looking at the same chapter and going into the rabbit hole, spending your valuable time on something that other people already solved. So I want to avoid all of that. So that's why Geoweaver is developed. So you can visit Geoweaver through the geoweaver.dev and download the software. It's all open source and free to use. It's MIT, so no strings attached, and just it's just trying to help. It's productivity tool which has facilitated our team to catch up with the speed. Remember that all the use case, all the project we did, I mentioned in the second slide. Well, we did that actually within 2 years. The productivity on our team is significantly improved after we adopt the Geoweaver. So yeah, this is a very good experience that I want to share with everyone. So yeah, what is it? It's like a Geoweaver is not a mysterious it's not that mysterious. It's just a tool, and you can use it to execute your code. It's kind of like a RDE, kind of similar to Jupyter Book. It's like you can create a process. Process means that the code file, like the Python code, the shell script or something, and you can just paste your code here and just click the execution bar, and it will pop up, say where you want to execute it. Normally, you just want to execute locally. Well, if your code is like too intensive, computationally intensive, it requires like a H100 GPU or something. You have to execute remotely. It will allow you to do that. It's like just add that remote resources into Geoweaver, and you still can monitoring your code running remotely, not just in localhost machine. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Jupyter, but the difference is every time you run your code, Geoweaver is going to record the begin time, end time, and the status of your execution, and it will save the version you just executed. It saved the version of the code you executed, and it will save the logout. Like when you run the code, it will print out the logs, and it will save that log into a database. And also you can add notes, like this notes saying this is the second run. This appears to be much better results, and then you can confirm. And this will be very helpful if you are like, let's say after 3 months, and you look back and check the history here, and you will see your notes that the second run is better. And then you instantly go to the second run source code. Don't have to worry about the first one. The first one is not good. And this will save a huge amount of time. But in the Jupyter, you basically don't have this kind of like a flexibility, like a one-stop history browsing and saving. Yeah, so that's basically the key feature of the Geoweaver. So it's kind of like recording everything automatically you did, and then it's gonna save it in one place. So no matter like where you execute your process locally or remotely, it's all in one place, and that will make it much easier to manage all this like your work actually, because every time you run the code, it takes time, takes money to run them, and the result is valuable. You don't want to lose them. Okay, so yeah, we have made a promotion video for Geoweaver, because right now the Geoweaver, the best use case, I mean, it's not designed for AI, but the best use case is the AI, because every time you run the AI data result is slightly different. You want to reserve every run. You don't want to lose any of those. So yeah, this is a promotion video we just released, and hope it give you a concept about what Geoweaver is.
AI, or artificial intelligence, is reshaping our world. In the geosciences, AI facilitates countless breakthroughs while introducing new challenges related to reproducibility, research efficiency, and collaboration. Picture a group of researchers from groundbreaking discoveries using Earth observation data and AI. Their insights are new, but their approach to creating reproducible workflows is old, sometimes leading to months of lost work from duplicate efforts or difficulties in reproducing results. But what if we could make scientific research more efficient and productive? What if 5 years of research could be packaged into a single file and shared instantly across the globe? What if onboarding new researchers took 2 weeks instead of 2 years? Geoweaver makes this seamless continuation of research a reality. It is an open source, browser-based application that runs in the background and can be integrated at any stage of a project. Geoweaver ensures rapid reproducibility, saving your team time and money by logging all the steps in a scientific workflow, from data preparation to trial and error and visualizing results. It also tracks model parameters and computing environments. Then, with one click, full stack workflows are condensed into a single file that can be shared and executed instantly by colleagues. Geoweaver is already revolutionizing research in labs and institutions worldwide, from reducing onboarding time by up to 98% to facilitating major collaborative projects across labs, disciplines, and organizations. Geoweaver's impact is tangible and transformative. Join the ranks of top-tier research institutions who are already improving their time to science with Geoweaver. Start using Geoweaver for free at geoweaver.dev.
All right, yeah. Thank you, Annie and Allison and Alex to make this video. This is amazing. So I think I will never see something like this nice about Geoweaver. Anyway, let me see how do you make it go next. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, so we think that research should not be so stressful. Your project should be easy to do. There are always many ways to do it, but there are always a relatively easy way. I wouldn't say that the research is like as easy as just go to the shopping and buy something in the grocery store. It should be less stressful. It's like you can just stay on top of things with the help of tools like Geoweaver. So no matter you are a program director, you're a programmer, or you're like a data scientist, you should know your things and just just have all kinds of tools that will make your work relatively easy. It's like you kind of like, for example, the AI training, and every time you have the AI training, you will have a peace of mind. You know that there is this tool is managing the workflow. You just click the button because everything here is figured out. It's like all those issues in every process were figured. Even the whole workflow is super complicated, but you have this tool that you already sort out every issue in every step, and it will make you feel assured that the workflow is gonna succeed. I can show you later. And sure, yeah. So here is some like workflows already running on Geoweaver, and I can demonstrate how it works shortly. So yeah, this is the first use case I have mentioned. It's a slow water equipment estimation. So it's not just a research actually. So another feature of Geoweaver is like it's really easy for you to transition from something that only you care about, like the prototyping, to something that everybody else can actually access. It's like a prototype to the production. It's really easy. Another use case is ozone monitoring. I can go over this quickly. Let's see. So yeah, the wildfire propagation. Let me see if I can show you this. So this, oops. Yeah, so this is the SWE workflow, a SWE website, and its workflow looks like this. Yeah, very complicated. So this is the whole workflow that is actually producing this map. And well, even it's so complicated, but when you establish it in this tool, it will actually be easier if you just tell your colleague, like tell students or tell your researcher so what to do. It's like okay, so let me see. It's yeah, it has data for the past 6 months, but it doesn't have data for November 9th, 2023. So what I did is go to this process and change this date, like test the start date, change it to like November 9th and save it. And then go back to the workflow and click this button. And that's it. Then you just go whatever you do. Just forget about this and do whatever you want. And after about like let me see. After about, if you click this metadata, see how long this usually takes. It usually takes 20 minutes. So just came back 20 minutes to check if all those processes, this orange means that it's still running, blue means it's ready, but it's not running. And then once all those process, all this process has colors became green, it means your workflow finished. And why these processes are not running? Because they are skipped. I clicked this button to skip them because they are not be required to produce the production map. And that's how your Geoweaver workflow and this like website collection collected. And it's really hassle-free and really, I kind of feel like a very, very relieved after, I know that there is bottom line of the software is helping us here. And after 20 minutes, then you will see this date will be populated. You can click it and browsing all this data here. So everything is automatic, and then you don't have any like stress to worry about. And at the end of the day, well, it's not just me to know that what if this website just go down and just just suddenly crash, or the entire data center is on fire. What you need to do is just to click this button to export the entire workflow. This workflow includes the source code and the history. And you can save it to somewhere safe, like your laptop or your colleague's laptop. And even the whole server is gone, and you can always have, set it up and import this workflow back and, run it again. And you will have this website pretty quickly. So don't worry about the reproducibility. I don't worry about, losing access to the AWS, losing access to our lab server anymore. It's just all there. So this relieved a lot of my research anxiety actually. And yeah, let's go back to we did the same thing for wildfire propagation. So wildfire propagation is like, I don't know if you can see here. The I date is like the current date, and then we forecast like 1 week in the future. So let's say this like August 9, and I can see that what's the next one week the fire is gonna change. Yeah, it's gonna expand like that. And yeah, we also did the same thing for the ozone estimation. Ozone is like this. So AI model is actually pretty good. It's better than the traditional model. And this workflow actually get executed every 3 p.m. every day. And you will see the data pretty soon. It just show up here automatically. So nobody is actually attending this workflow. It's just automatically run. So we don't have a person just look at this every day. No need. Yeah, it's really a relief of the hassle, and you don't have to fund the resources to just take care of this. Well, for researcher, that is just a blessing. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go back to slides. All right, our experience so far is like before the adoption, every team member will at least need half a year to fully on board. As I going through all those process, remember that giant, that big graph? It's if it's in the Jupyter notebook format. Can you imagine that, how many code speeds, how many notebooks we have to go through? It's just enormous. It's that onboarding process is very long and very painful. And some students just can't stand it. It's just, this is not what I do. This is not what I want to do. Just left. Yeah, we are pretty frustrated before. And a lot of back and forth communications. And because people's background is so different, and somebody just have never heard about Python before they onboard. So how do you explain all this, to people with so different background? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll be quick. And we wasted a lot of time on old stubborn issues, and those issues just came back. Even you solved it one time, and it just came back on people's laptop all the time. And you have to tell them how to do and what to do. And yeah, that's a lot of frustrating experiences. So after adoption of Geoweaver, we observed that at least each member, it only takes them 1 or 2 weeks to import the workflow and already start contributing in the first month. And we are actually here, the GMU here is a very small team. It's like 5 people. And right now we have 8 people, but yeah, it's actually changing very fast. It's like, university, you all never have a stable team as the industry. So we have to adapt. But we are doing very good, based on the human resources and all the resources we have, we're doing pretty good right now. We are maintaining like a 3 workflow I just showed you at the same time, and all the workflows actually need a very minimum human attention every day. And I don't have to explain all those things every time, much less explanation in the Slack email and meetings. And people see the graph and just know, it's basically self-explanatory for most people. For if they really struggling to understand what this process is doing, yeah, we can just jump on a meeting and solve it on the site. So very efficient and productive right now. And yeah, as I mentioned, the university is kind of like a flexible, like a dynamic environment. So people come and go, and the most valuable thing is that we never lost a thing. So because you are executing the process in the Geoweaver, it remembers everything. Even the person is gone, the history is still there. So there is no code, no history lost. And most important thing is that people feel happier compared to before, and feel less stressful, and you don't have to have so much things to do and so many obligation on your plate. So yeah, the experience here is pretty good, and I hope that it helped you as well. This is from my perspective, or maybe people, we should do some surveys to ask people who use the Geoweaver what they feel. But it basically addressed all these problems with a green check for me. All right, so is Geoweaver for you? This is a tricky question. We are trying to make Geoweaver as less code requirement as possible, but still it's actually a workflow management software. So it still requires you to understand some of the code. At least they have some basics of the Python. But actually I instructed several high school students recently, and they take it very well. And then this is amazing. It's like, actually the high school student did a lot of Python coding. And I told you that, yeah, use Geoweaver, you don't have to always do, solve the same problem other people already solved. So yeah, they totally understand. They're pretty on board with this. So yeah, it still requires you to have some coding experience in the background, but it's compared to other the Jupyter or the requires you always looking into the code. at least the Geoweaver give is the tangibility. It's like the first thing you say in Geoweaver is not code. It is a graph. So that is like a bootstrapping all your understanding into that graph, say this flow, how it works, the name and the flow. And you know, when you want to dive into details, you can click each process, but you don't have to. It's not necessary. You just need to look at the graph to understand the whole thing. And that's the big difference than other, like, you know, you are using VS Code or using PyCharm, or, you know, it's different. It's like, you know, it doesn't require coding experience to do the first step of understanding. All right, yeah, we actually have a lot of Jupyter book online, the GeoSmart project, and the Nicola and I are collaborating. If you want to deep dive on the machine learning project in Earth Science, just feel free to check it out. This is an ongoing project, and we will be very lucky to have you on board. And also we have this ESIP machine learning cluster monthly meeting. If you are interested, you can join us. And yeah, we're basically writing all kinds of white papers about like, what we should do, like in the AI era, you know, navigating all those earth science research to better adapt. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much. Nikunada, back to you.
Thank you, Jensen, for sharing details on your tool with us. And mostly sharing details on research anxiety. That was interesting. An interesting point of view on how to present the tool. Do we have any questions for Jensen? I think now maybe you have the tool and some workflows. Do you envision any further steps in how to, you know, distribute these workflows if needed?
Yeah, that's a great question. So how to yeah, the workflows was, well, right now we manually publish it on GitHub. So we just because Geoweaver allows you to export the workflow into a zip file. If you unzip the zip file, there are like 3 items, 2 folders. One folder is code, the other folder is history, and there will be a workflow.json. So you just commit all those files into a GitHub, and that's a Geoweaver workflow GitHub repository. And you can register that GitHub repository into any catalogs and you want people to search it from. And once people found it from any like either search engine or the science catalog, then you can go to the GitHub repository to download it and import it into your Geoweaver software, and you can reproduce it. That's the current practice we have. But yeah, we will be very interested to create a separate catalog to help people to distribute it.
All right. Do you envision having some other applications outside of earth sciences? Can this be used in other domains?
Yeah, well, we actually tried to onboard the biology and the medical and bioinformatics projects. And actually, Geoweaver is not dedicated for the earth science. It's a very general tool. As long as your workflow is using like shell script and Python, even you are using other languages like R, like C++, even C++. So it can support it through the Python and the shell script. It basically can support every language as long as you know how to do it. And then you can use it to repurpose it to like support your workflow from other disciplines. Yeah, definitely we can expand it to other domains, and I think that'll work.
All right, I don't see any hands up. If there's no more questions for Jensen, We thank Jensen very much for joining us. And we will conclude the seminar here. Thank you.